All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your final exam. We'll get started right now with the anatomy of the human ear. Question number 1. How many parts is the human ear made up of? What does TTS stand for? What does ELP stand for? Pick the correct definition for TTS. Pick the correct definition for ELP. What's another word or term for tired ears? By the way, can your ears get tired? What causes auditory fatigue? What part of the human body is responsible for pitch perception? What is the purpose of the auditory hairs? How many auditory hairs is a human baby typically born with? Can too much silence be harmful to the human ear and the psyche? In terms of amplitude, what is the threshold of pain? What is the lowest frequency perceivable to the human ear? What is the highest frequency perceivable to the human ear? All right, guys, take a quick break and we'll come back with frequency and amplitude. Okay, so what type of plugin is this? Which of these two options is the bandwidth? Which of these two options is the target frequency? In a parametric EQ, where can the target frequency be found? Where else can the target frequency be found? What do these numbers right here represent? What do these numbers right here represent? In terms of amplitude, now be very careful. Look at the graph and tell me, in terms of amplitude, which frequency is the lowest? What are the two most important aspects of any EQ? What does EQ stand for? What does this row of numbers represent? What does this row of numbers represent? What does this icon represent? What does this icon represent? What frequencies does the LPF filter out? What frequencies does an HPF filter out? Can HPF be used to fix sibilance in a vocal? Can the LPF be used to diminish a low hum in the ambient noise in a room? What does dB stand for? If I were to tell you that raising the volume of a track by plus 3 dB was barely imperceptible to the human ear, would I be telling you the truth or would I be lying to you? If I were to raise the incoming gain on a track, what would that knob most likely be called? Is treble the same thing as high frequency? Is bass the same thing as low frequencies? All right, guys, so that's it for frequency and amplitude. Next, sample rates and bit rates. Good luck. Okay, so what is a sample rate? By today's recording industry standards, 44.1 is not really a commonly used sample rate for recording anymore. Is that true or false? If I were to tell you that 48K is an industry standard for recording vocals, would I be telling you the truth? What are the audio bit rates in alphanumeric order? Why would you choose to record in 24-bit instead of 16-bit? What is the dynamic range of a 16-bit recording? What is the dynamic range of a 24-bit recording? In terms of audio recording, what is a bit rate? I'm getting ready to record an orchestra. Which sample rate might be a really good one to use? Can 44.1 files be converted in Logic to 48K files? All right, guys, that's it for sample rates and bit rates. Next, cables and wires. All right, this is cables and wires. It should be really easy. Question number 1. What is another name for an XLR cable? What is the size of a TRS cable? What is another name for a TRS cable? What is the size of a headphone jack? What do the 3 stripes on a headphone jack stand for? What does 1 stripe on a 1/4-inch cable mean? What does 2 stripes on a 1/4-inch cable mean? This one's a little tricky. What does XLR stand for? Okay. What does TRS stand for? If I was going to plug in an electric guitar to an electric amp, what kind of cable would I need? All right, guys, that's it for cables and wires. Get ready for Logic Pro X, the toughest part of the exam. Good luck. All right, welcome to the Logic Pro X portion of the test. Here's question number 1. What is a DAW? What does DAW stand for? Which DAW are you learning here at McGavock Audio? What is the shortcut for opening a new session? Before you start recording in Logic or any DAW, what are the 2 most important things you need to check? Which of these 3 options is the inspector window? Which of these 2 options is the tracks area? Where is the control bar and what does it contain? Where is the workspace and what does it contain? Which of these 3 options is the workspace? What Logic icon is this? What Logic icon is this? What Logic icon is this? Which Logic icon is this? What Logic icon is this? Which Logic icon is this? In Logic, what is the shortcut for saving your session? What are the 2 shortcuts for the mixer? What is the shortcut for the piano roll? Which of these two options is an audio region? Which one of these two options is a MIDI region? What does MIDI stand for? What is this a picture of? Do MIDI controllers normally come with built-in sounds and patches? What is the shortcut for the toolbox? Once you've accessed the toolbox, what is the shortcut for the fade tool? Once you've accessed the toolbox, what is the shortcut for the scissors? What does quantization allow you to do? If I were to quantize my MIDI track, would that allow me to lock my MIDI into the grid? What are the units of the 4 numeric values to determine length and position in an audio region? Describe 2 ways to adjust numeric value in Logic. How do you copy a region? In the mixer, where do you insert plugins? Y'all better know this one. What is the shortcut for play and stop? What is the shortcut for bouncing an MP3? What is the shortcut to access automation? What is the shortcut for the undo option? What is the shortcut for record? What is the shortcut for the loops browser? Last question. What is the shortcut for the color palette? All right, guys, good news. You got 1 category left. We're pretty much all the way done. We just got 1 more category. Up next, microphones and polar patterns. All right, microphones and polar patterns. How many polar patterns are there? How many typically used polar patterns are there? Which polar pattern picks up best from the front and a little from the sides and the back of the microphone? Which polar pattern picks up 360 degrees around the microphone? Which microphone picks up from the front and the back of the microphone? Which polar pattern picks up best from the front and very little to none on the sides or the back of the microphone? Very careful with that question. What is plus 48V and what is its purpose? What are the 3 microphone types? What happens if you use a ribbon microphone with phantom power? Which microphone type is most sensitive to sound? Which microphone type is fairly cheap and durable? How many type of condenser mics are there? True or false? Large condenser microphones are usually the only type of microphone that have multi-pattern capability. Okay, so there is only 1 microphone in our Audix kit that is not a dynamic microphone. Which one is it? Every other microphone in the Audix kit except for the ADX51 is what type of microphone? Which microphone type is typically better for studio vocals? Hey guys, guess what? This is the last question in the exam. Here it is. Which microphone type is affected by humidity and temperature? All right, guys, that's it. We've had a really good year this year. I think we've learned a lot. Hopefully everybody has passed the exam. I'll see you in August. Thanks, guys. Have a good summer.